Hey everybody, it's Wes with Fundamental Games. I'm here today to bring you a Tabletop Simulator game preview of Megapulse. This is by Orion Games. There might be Orion Jew Games, I don't know how to pronounce that. But Orion Games, this would be their very first board game. I think they brought it to Gen Con and had some tremendous feedback and player activity over the course of the 3 or 4 days that they were there. And I just wanted to share with you this colorful, exciting tabletop simulator version, which you can play right now if you want to get an idea of the game or at least see the visuals. But I'm going to share with you 5 things that I like about the game. Now, I have play tested the game once and I've read through the rule book and I have a good idea based on that of how the game works. Now, I haven't played a game since just because my time is spent doing a lot of other things, so play testing new games I don't have as much time for, but I did enjoy the experience and wanted to share what I like about the game. So the first thing I like is the racing theme of it. If you zoom in on here, these boards are actually interchangeable and it comes with a whole bag of them. So if I were to take a look at this and see what we have here, we've got some other tracks that could be. I think there's a total of 32 tracks, and so I could build my own track in many different ways depending on what I like or don't like about it. We'll just set this over here. So I just set up this track here as a visual to share with you, and I believe the game is going to come with this track booklet. Now, I don't have any examples in here to show you, but it'll be tracks that the designer sets up that he based on difficulty or might favor certain play styles if certain tracks are put together in certain ways. So I like that aspect of it. But this racing game, it reminds me of video games like F-Zero or Xenon or Z-Race. It's got that futuristic look to it. You can see these little figurines that they have to represent the different type of race cars. There's different car boards, which I'll talk about in a minute, and drivers. But it's just a really nice visual aesthetic to the board. It stands out. It's so colorful and can't help but make you think you're playing a video game on the tabletop, which is really cool. So that's the first thing I like, is the racing theme to this game. Second thing I like is that there are asymmetric racers with asymmetric cards. Now, the cards themselves aren't completely asymmetric. I mean, each player has 7 cards that they start with, and only one of them is unique to their specific car. So the Falcon has the Falcon's Super Bomb, but otherwise their stats look very, very similar. If we take a look at the Quark SS Ultra, it's kind of like a speed bike or some kind of weird magnetic bike. I don't know what you want to call it, but it also has their own special card. So their special card is the Side Thrust. And there's a couple other racers in here as well. There's the Nemesis Equinox and the Quark's X350. That one has a Nitro Speed, and this yellow bike has the Ultra Flare. So it's kind of neat that each vehicle has its own unique card that you can use. And in addition to that, there are interchangeable drivers. So right now there's 4 drivers in this demo version of the game. There's the Expert, who has special ability there, a catalyst. If you're falling behind, they have special perks. The Champion, the Trickster, and the Freak. So you can play with a different car each time or a different driver. You could always use the same car and swap out drivers. So it just creates some differences in gameplay and style each time you play the game. So I like that asymmetric stance to it, where each player has a different methodology that they might use to play with, or different powers that other players may not be expecting. The third thing I like about this game is that you do start with the same hand of 6 cards plus your 1 unique power, and as you use them, your choices become more limited. But what happens throughout the game is you get the benefit of upgrading cards. So if we take a look in here, you may get the opportunity to acquire a card at some point in the game. So you may acquire this overcharge card, or you may acquire a rapid double shift card, a deep focus card. There's all kinds of cards in here. Some are combat based, some are speed based, some are maneuver based, some might give you protection. Whatever the case is, it's just neat that you have all these different powers that you can get. Now, you can't sift through the deck and choose your powers. There'll be a limited amount available on the table as you're playing the game. And so that'll also introduce some variability in gameplay, because you may not have access to all 32 cards in a single game. You may only end up getting access to some of them, and as they get picked up, other ones get revealed. So it's neat that you can add those to your hand, and then you have new powers that you can use throughout the rest of your game and your races. Upgradable cards are cool. All right, the fourth thing I like is that there's a simultaneously played format to the game, but then it also plays out in phases. So I'll kind of share what I mean there. What'll happen is if players are playing the game, each player will choose 2 cards from their hand. So maybe I'm going to choose this card and this card, and I'll put them face down on the table. And then the red player here, they might pick this card and this card and put them face down on the table. And the yellow and the purple would do the same. And once all players have picked their cards, they simultaneously flip them over. And there's different phases that happen. So what would happen is, once the cards are revealed, if there's any instant cards with green lightning bolt, so for example, this card here is an instant card, instant cards would get played first. So that player would then get to choose whether they want to do one ability or another. Most cards have 2 options to choose from, and those options allow you to gain different perks. Maybe it's going to increase your speed, or maybe it's going to allow you to turn or acquire a card or whatever. I won't go through all the powers. I'm sure there'll be a how to play video that'll walk through that. But the fact is that the instant effects get resolved first, going around the table, and then the next power. And so that'll happen each turn you play. You're going to pick another 2 cards. Eventually you'll run out of cards and grab all your cards and reshuffle. Or there might be a card power that does that. I can't recall. And so just kind of neat how that works together, and each of the players will kind of have a hidden aspect to it, and then simultaneous reveal and work through that. And then players will gravitate over the board and move up and on. Sorry, I don't have these locked down right now. If I were playing the game, I'd want to lock those down and then move my tokens along the board there. All right, but that is the fourth thing I like, the simultaneous card selection and reveal mechanic to the game. And then the fifth thing that I like, I kind of touched on already, is the phases of play. So again, if we look through here, you start with the instant resolve and execution of the cards, and then there's a ready up, a chance to retrieve your cards and buy upgrades at the end of each turn, depending on if you went through checkpoints or had cards that helped you acquire things. I really like that aspect of it. There's many other things I like about the game too, such as the laps remaining track. That's kind of a nice little touch there, so you're always aware of what's happening. I like the bombs that you can get in the game. So these super bombs you'll plant on the board and can cause other players to explode or take damage if they go through it. I like the catch-up mechanic that's on these unique driver boards. So a lot of different things I like. I mean, I talked about the 5 things I like the most already, but there's so much more to like about this game. It's so unique, colorful, dynamic, energetic, and I think you'll have a blast if you get a chance to watch the game or get a chance to play test the game. And it's going live on Kickstarter later in October, so keep an eye out for this one. I think this is definitely one to watch out for, especially after their great feedback and interactions at Gen Con. All right. If you've had a chance to play this game, by all means, send some comments about what you liked about it. And if you haven't played it, but this catches your interest, by all means, let me know. Thanks as always for watching Fundamental Games videos and our Fun in 5, and have a great day.